Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Geraldine Esozie. To my new viewers, thank you so much for joining, and to my old subscribers, you're welcome back. This channel is all about natural skincare tutorials and general lifestyle. So today we'll be looking at how to make oil infusions, herbal oil infusion. We'll be using guava leaf to make today's infusion. I made this oil some time back. You can find it in one of my videos. Onion night glow oil. This oil is good for skincare and also good for hair growth as well. In that video, I explained why I made use of sunflower oil that I used, because I wanted something that could work on all skin types. Sunflower oil works for dry skin, oily skin, and also for normal skin. So that was why I made use of sunflower oil. So now this sunflower oil is no more sunflower oil. It has now become onion oil, either as a glow oil or as a hair growth oil. So I'll now be infusing these guava leaves into the onion oil, to increase the potency of what we already have here, which is onion oil. The good thing about oil infusion in skincare is that it imparts the benefits, the nutrients of the herbs into the oil you decide to use. But you should also note that not all oils are good for making infusions. When choosing oils for infusion, you should look at the shelf life of that oil. For my infusions, I mostly make use of coconut oil when it comes to hair products. Then when it comes to skin care products, I mostly make use of sunflower oil, so that I won't go selecting and separating when I have to deal with someone with an oily skin, someone with a dry skin, and someone with a normal skin. Because what will work for a normal skin type and dry skin type, like coconut oil, will work for normal skin and dry skin type, but coconut oil doesn't always work for those with oily skin. So to be on the safe side, when making skincare products, I always infuse with sunflower oil, so I don't make the mistake of giving somebody with an oily skin a product made with coconut oil, so the person doesn't break out in acne. So today we'll be infusing these guava leaves into the onion oil, because it is no more sunflower, it has now become onion, because I infused onion into sunflower oil to now make it onion oil. So to further increase the power and potency of this oil, either for hair growth or for skin, I'm now going to infuse these guava leaves into the onion oil, because guava is very good for hair growth, and it is also very good for skincare as well, because guava, as we all know, contains vitamin C. So the leaves will do very well in healing of wounds, in keeping away wrinkles, and general glow of the skin. So that is why I'm going to infuse guava leaves into onion oil. It can either be used for hair growth, because it works both ways. It's awesome for hair growth, and it's also awesome for skincare. So to infuse herbs into oils, ensure your herbs are very dry. If you listen, you can hear the sound. It has to be crispy dry. Crispy dry. And please, you don't dry with any form of heat. You don't dry with any form of heat. You don't even dry under the sun. What you do is either you use a dehydrator to dry your herbs, or if you don't have a dehydrator, you place, when you get your herbs, like when I got this guava leaves, I rinsed in water, you know, to remove dirt, sand, dust, and every other kind of dirt. Then I now placed it on a tray. I spread it on a tray. Then I now air dried. If you have to take it outside at all, ensure where you put it, sun doesn't get there. Because the moment you dry in under sunlight, you reduce the potency of the nutrients that herb has. So it's always best to dry your herbs indoors. You can put it indoors and put on your fan, you know, for it to make it dry. You use a dehydrator, or better still, you dry during Harmattan. You know, when the weather is very dry, you just spread either on a tray or you use a sack, because of the holes that are present, you know, to allow for fast dripping, you know, or removal of water, depending on what you are drying. You can make use of leaves, you can make use of fruits, you can make use of orange peels, lemon peel, you can dry pawpaw, both the peels, the seed, and even the pulp itself. There's no limit to what you can dry. Even pineapple and tomatoes, as watery as they are, watermelon, you can also dry. But it's not always easy when there is no Harmattan, because in Harmattan, depending on how serious the dryness is, you know, it gets to dry easily. But when you have a dehydrator, it becomes easiest. You just put in your herbs into the dehydrator, probably time it, and before you know, in a few minutes, everything will be dried. But in a case where you don't have dehydrator, then you can make do with what you have. You just improvise. You spread on a tray or a sack to allow for easy removal of water. And if it's leaves dry the fastest, but fruits could take a while. Even like carrots, you just grate, you know, you make it into the tiniest piece. Either you make them very thin slices or you grate, then you spread and leave to dry. So after you now dry, make sure it is crispy dry. If you can listen, you will hear the sound it's making. So it's crispy dry. So to infuse, you need a mayonnaise jar. It's either you make use of a mayonnaise jar or you get a mason jar. If you cannot afford a mason jar, you can easily get a mayonnaise jar. You just make sure you wash thoroughly and probably sterilize to keep dirt and germs away. Then you pour your herbs into the mayonnaise jar. Pour your herbs into the mayonnaise jar. When it comes to measurement is not really needful. What you do is just ensure that whatever quantity of herbs you put into the mayonnaise jar, just ensure that your oil gets to cover it. Because I don't have so much oil here, that's why I'm trying to push it into the container very well, so my oil gets to cover it completely. Just ensure that your oil covers whatever herbs, the quantity of herbs you put into your mayonnaise jar. So I'll now go ahead and add my oil, my onion oil. If I had enough oil, then I would have used all the herbs. Then now pour all the oil all the way to the top. Just ensure you leave a little space for easy turning or shaking. So I've closed it tightly. If I even had enough oil, I'm even supposed to put it more than this, to about this level, before I stop. So about this level before I stop. But this will work fine too. And if you notice that the herbs now start rising, you can also add more oil. That's why it's always best, to add enough oil to cover your herbs, well enough, so that in case the herbs now rises, you don't need to open your jar, to top it up with oil anymore. And ensure you label your jar. We get to do a whole lot of infusions at the same time. So in order not to get confused as to not knowing what we have in the different mayonnaise jars, that is why labeling is very important. So I've labeled it. So now I know what I have in here is guava plus onion oil infusion. So I'll now I shake once daily. Once every day, you shake for the next 4 to 6 weeks before you now sieve off the herbs that you have in the oil, and you're now free to make use of your oil. You can also make use of powdered herbs as well. Like if you couldn't get the guava leaves and you got guava powder, or like turmeric that has already been blended, to label your jars, use turmeric powder for your infusion as well. You also keep shaking daily, to allow for proper mixing of the oil and the herb. But when it comes to powder infusions, when it is like 2 to 3 days before you need to harvest your oil, what you do is you stop shaking. You allow for the powder to settle completely so that it doesn't interfere when you're sieving off the chaff. If it's powder and you have allowed to sit for like 2 to 3 days, it's easier for you to pour off the oil on top without the bottom powder interfering. But if you are shaking daily, when sieving, it won't be so easy. But with leaves, it's much easier. You just pour into your muslin cloth and it separates the oil from the chaff for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sure you got value, so do not hesitate to give this video a thumbs up and also share to those that will need it. Are you struggling with acne? Do you have self-esteem issues as a result of acne scars? The Acne Handbook, a guide to getting rid of acne, is a book I put together to help sufferers of acne, because I was able to go from an acne-ridden skin to a flawless skin. So the things I did after understanding the basics of acne, the different types of acne, how it is formed, the causes, what predisposes your skin to breaking out in acne, foods you should steer clear of when you have an oily or acne prone skin, and foods you can eat to help you get a clear skin, how your skin fares in different climates and seasons, the myths and facts surrounding acne, the basic skincare regimen you can start using, to help clear your skin, and how you can go from an acne-ridden skin to a flawless skin. You can get your own copy of the Acne Handbook with the link on the screen, and it is also in the description of this video. So click on it to get your own copy of the Acne Handbook. Thank you so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, share as well, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and click on the notification bell to always get notified when there's new content. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Cheers.